Joining us now, Annise Parker, former mayor of Houston and the president and CEO of the LGBTQ Victory Fund. Mayor, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here.
What's the shift all about in Texas? Obviously, all of Texas isn't the same as Houston, an urbanizing center, diversifying, full of immigrants with sort of more urban concerns. What's happened in the rest of Texas that was supposedly so solidly red that shows some threat of turning blue?
Well, the big cities in Texas have long been big blue islands in the vast Red Sea of Texas. They were big blue islands that were urban, surrounded by reliably Republican suburbs, and then there are the vast rural areas. What's happened is that those reliably Republican suburban rings around the big blue urban areas have begun to go purple. And it's not just in Houston, but it is in San Antonio, it's in Dallas, it's in Austin, it's in El Paso. And when you combine very large urban populations in rapidly growing cities with these suburbs that shift, I won't say they've turned blue, but they are definitely purple. They're thoughtful, educated voters, and they are more issue voters than party voters. And their party has left them behind. And fortunately, we've had the candidates and the issues to bring them toward the Democratic side.
So this is interesting. When you say they're more issue voters than party voters, there are a lot of people who are not from Texas who wouldn't necessarily think that, because there's been a long mythology about Texas being a conservative place, which, you know, in the last few decades has meant a Republican place. What's the issues that are pushing some of these folks over to thinking about Democratic candidates?
Well, Texas is still a very conservative place, but again, conservative and the Trump brand of republicanism don't necessarily equate. I mean, you saw the Bush family move very much away from Trump in the last election. But you also see that some of the suburban areas, and I'm most familiar with Harris County and in the area around Houston, the suburban communities have become much more international. Large South Asian populations, large Asian populations moving into the suburban areas, so that the demographics are changing, but also the voters in those communities are turned off by divisive social messages. And when you look at what's happening in terms of immigration issues, of trade issues, sort of the classic Republican issues, their party has left them. They are then turning to who are the best candidates in the race rather than who's the Republican in the race. And fortunately for us, we've had some really great Democratic candidates. And Beto O'Rourke, when he ran his statewide campaign, was a game changer. One of the things that happens to candidates is that we fall into the trap of talking to the people who agree with us. The one thing that Beto did masterfully was that he talked to all of Texas, and he campaigned in all of Texas. And what we discovered, or we were reminded of, is that when we have the kitchen table conversations about real issues that matter, people respond.
Mayor, good to talk to you again. Thank you for being with Mayor Annise Parker of Houston, former mayor of Houston.